Hello everyone, this is the presentation video for my project on C++ programming, which was for Genius Time for physics. And what I have decided to do is create this text-based game called Planet Nisha. It is a bigger demo than what I created the first semester, but I plan on working on it after school to finish making the game. Because the thing is, it will take a lot of time to create the program because as you get on to the next event, you have more and more to do. So let's get started. And as you see, it looks like it starts with the command prompt window. The thing is that what I created was a console application, and that's what a lot of tutorials and books would start off you showing you how to use. So what I typed out was that presenting Planet Nisha. In this game, you have crashed into Nisha, the planet that the government had funded for colonization. Nobody knows why the crash accident happened, but it appears that something smashed into the ship and pulled it inside orbit. There were only 5 survivors: you, the leader, engineer Ragnarok Javin, medical doctor Skylar Helen, astronomist Joshua Travis, and biologist Leah Miss. Now let's begin with the first event. Event 1. You and the other 4 survivors exit the damaged ship and find that you, and luckily the medical doctor, are the only ones that are uninjured. Unfortunately, most of the medical supplies are either damaged or missing, and there are only enough supplies for 2 of the injured survivors. Now read the following options, enter the corresponding number to your selected option, and press enter. Number 1, don't heal Engineer Ragnarok Javin's broken leg. Number 2, don't heal astronomist Joshua Travis's shrapnel wound in his hand. Number 3, don't heal biologist Leah Miss's burned face. Well, if I were to pick one, it would probably be number 2. So if I could push 2 and enter, what happened was this read my input from when I put number 2 in, and in the if and else statement that I created, it went to the else if statement that said, well, if option is 2, which is basically using a comparison through using a equals equals or double equals sign, then it will do everything that it has in that little bracket. And with everything that's in here says, ouch, astronomist Joshua Travis will have trouble making calculations and using his hand for tools. Event 2. You need to lead your group to a safe hideout, and you are given the following options. Number 1, stay at the ship and build your base from the remaining parts. Number 2, bring some valuable tools and materials from the ship to a cave you see nearby and build your base over there. Number 3, bring some valuable tools and materials from the ship and travel a large distance to find a list less suspicious hideout. Now, if I were to pick one based on my previous actions and what I know now, I would have probably done number 2. And now, if it went to the next if else statement below this bracket in its own little nest, and what's in here now says, as your group built the base out of materials from the cave, many aggressive beasts had been encountered. Astronomist Joshua Travis had to remain inside the ship due to this problem and the other small beasts that were lurking around the ship. You and the others are now moderately injured because it took a lot of time to build a wall to prevent any more creatures from invading the construction site. The base has been constructed out of stone and iron, which means that the base would not be strong enough to withstand some of the powerful blows being dealt by a few beasts for more than a day or 2. Currently, your team is trying to kill the beast with poisonous gas to buy some time, but there may be more beasts coming. Astronomist Joshua Travis has been brought back to the base. Additionally, he was unable to start examining and discovering important information about Planet Nisha. and the group's location on the planet. Therefore, the group has a disadvantage in the situation. Now we go on to event 3. Your base is in a great location despite the materials it's made out of. It's made of, and the beasts that are trying to invade it. You need to decide how to resolve the problem with the beast, and you can choose from the following options. Number 1, construct primitive weapons to defend against the beast. Number 2, gather the fuel from the ship and set the beast on fire. Number 3, focus on healing your people to have more people defend against the beast. Okay, if I were to pick one now, gosh, the fuel from the ship would set the beast on fire. Even though you lost fuel, you can always get more oil from or whatever energy source from the ground or whatever, and then just set the beast on fire. So let's pick 2. Now, the thing is that I haven't completed this part. This is to be continued. Game over. Press 1 to play again, or 2 to terminate the program. And as you know, that this is actually a demo. It's actually a bigger demo than from my creative first semester. Because, the thing is, it takes a lot of time to come up with the information to display on the screen, as well as to figure out how to make things work, and if you're ever run into problems, you have to figure out what caused it, and it takes a lot of time to create this. I have done so much right now just to get to this point. And it's like over 1,000 lines of code. Well, if you pushed 1, it just brings you back to where it was, and so it just prints out all of this information again. So basically, you could put 1, 3. No, that's actually a bad one. See, and the other thing is that if you use I used goto statements in order to use the invalid input. Now, goto statements are actually not that good to use. At least that's what the professional programmers say, because it makes spaghetti code. It makes your code hard to read because you have to keep going back and forth. Now, for some reason, it was working before for me, but now after I used it for a little bit, it's not. For some reason, I might have changed something or whatever to where the goto statements are not working, and that's just part of programming. You gotta run into problems and all that, and you gotta learn how to fix them correctly, and it's part of programming. And the thing is that I've looked a lot to trying to find out how to not use goto statements in my situation, because what I was wanting to do was to fulfill 2 goals. 1, the user made the wrong input in the program. It should bring up this little quote that says invalid input, enter one of the given integer values. Now, I also wanted to fulfill the other goal, where I could use choice in the while statement and allow me to go back from play it again, and that part was actually hard to do because of those 2, and I wanted to make sure it only accepted integer values and such. Well, the thing is that if you did 1 and in the space, or if you enter too many, entering it, I think I fixed that. If you enter and finally enter the value and then press enter, it will go back to the part where it was directed to. But if you use the space, the thing is that's spaces and enters, enter presses are what causes the program to or the computer to decide, you know what, since I solved this, I'm gonna treat that, okay, that's the means need to go to the next step. So you do not. So my problem with my program is that if I want to add a space now, when you're not supposed to, it's gonna get all funky, and then it's like if I did this, it's gonna get to the point where it acts really funky and such. Now if I press 2, well, actually it didn't work out as I wanted. So actually, let's go back to right here, and I'm gonna build this program again. I'm gonna do 2, 2, and let's just do 2. Now, if you did 2 right here, when you're using code blocks, you get the process returns 0 and the execution time, and you press any key to continue, and then it will just take you on the thing. And basically, what the return is that basically just the one simple things where after you complete your whole program, and you always have to have return 0 at the bottom or just return any value, and it just basically needs to return a value to the compiler. So it's really simple. It's almost like it's not even needed, but it is. Well, I think that is all for now. So I'm glad you enjoyed the video if you did, and thank you for watching, and I look forward to finishing the presentation with you guys. Thank you.